Okay, so we have another MPG investigative video with Theseus here. I switched over to a heavier tire. I went over to these 245/70 R16 Pirelli Scorpion AT Pluses, and now I'm switching back to Cooper Discoverer's AT3, except I'm going to a 245/70 rather than the original 225/75 I had on this car. And when I switched to these Pirellis, I lost about 10% of my fuel economy, and I attribute that to the heavier tire. I had a limited slip diff put in, but I also had the diff rebuilt, so I don't think that would have any impact. It's just a posi. So when I switch over to the Coopers, I'm going to go to the junkyard and I'm going to pick up some original OEM Jeep aluminum rims, and I'm going to throw the Coopers on those, throw those on the car, and see if I regain my lost fuel economy. I did the math, and I think the 225/75 Coopers weighed 29 pounds each, and I think these new 245/70 Coopers weigh 35 pounds. So I think if I go back to the aluminum rim, that'll drop each wheel down about 5 pounds, and hopefully I should be back to the same weight per wheel. So that'll reduce my rotational mass, and that should allow my car to accelerate a little bit better. And in stop and go traffic, as well as all the off-road driving I do, that should improve my fuel economy significantly. Or it won't, I don't know, but I think I'm willing to throw the 250 bucks on a new set of rims to figure it out. And if they don't work, then I don't know, I'll sell them on Facebook Marketplace for 100 bucks and just swap the Coopers back onto steels. Because personally, I prefer steel rims just because they're way more robust. They bend rather than break, and I like to run over like potholes and speed bumps and logs and rocks and ruts and ditches and deer and you name it. I don't like slowing down. I like hitting things. This thing's got a nasty suspension, so it doesn't matter to me anyway how hard I hit anything, because it's going to hurt my back anyway. But anywho, I think we're going to try and grab some aluminum rims, throw those Coopers on there, throw those on the car, drive around for a couple fill-ups, and see what my fuel economy is. Currently, we're averaging about 19.2 to 19.5 every once in a blue moon. I get a 20 every, well, more often than I'd like, I get an 18. And with the way fuel prices are right now, like 5 something a gallon, well, not so much anymore, 4 something a gallon. Diesel's 5 something a gallon. If I can save 5% fuel economy over the life of those tires, that will probably actually gain me a couple $100. So it's worth the initial investment if it works. If it doesn't, I don't know. I'll probably go back to steels, but we'll see. All right, off to the scrapyard with the China torque. Well, I got 3 decent rims, but we're out of battery. These will not come off, and these will very not come off, but I did find these MT Performances, and they fit, and they're 4 and 5, and they're 16s. This is exactly what I want, but check an offset. I don't know if I want to do that or not. That's like a 3-inch difference. We may just go for it. Fuck, never mind, there are 15s. Will you guys quit ookadoogieing things, please, Jesus? This is my 3rd tire iron. Well, I made it out with rims alive, and they're not in the best shape. That one's in fantastic shape, but they're not all in the best shape. And I even paid for the tires because they're actually all, well, except for that one, they all got like 75% of their life on it. I just couldn't bring myself to have them pop them. If I don't, I'll probably try and sell them on Facebook Marketplace, or I might bring them back for a return. We'll see. Well, there's my shiny new mag rim, used mag rim, and 3 dirty mag rims. Yeah, I was still debating whether or not I wanted to buy the tires, but this one is practically brand new. This guy still has tons of life. So does that one's, might be close to halfway. This one's still at least 75%, although that one might have a hole in it. But as soon as I walked up to the register, the guy behind me walked in and went, "Damn, you hit the jackpot." And he was referring to the tread life left on these things, and then I just didn't have the heart to tell the guy at the counter to pop all 4 of them in front of him. So, bought tires. And I think, because I have them here, I'm going to put some air in them make sure all 4 of them hold air. If they do, I may just throw them on the Jeep and just run them as is for a week or two. See what kind of fuel economy I get with these things. And hopefully I don't have to go off-roading in the meantime. And if it's, if it looks interesting, then we'll just pull these off and, throw the Coopers on there, because there's my Coopers. And, if these all hold air, I might try selling them on Facebook Marketplace. I might be able to get a little bit more than what I can get on my return at LKQ. Especially considering I got to drive like 50 miles to get there and back. The way gas is right now, that's probably like $10 worth of gas. So if I can sell them for close to what I paid for them on Facebook Marketplace, I may just do that. But although that's kind of a pain in the ass in and of itself, that's probably worth the $10 drive. Anywho, we'll probably just return them to LKQ. But I'm going to huck some air in them, see if all these tires hold air, and then I think I'll get to cleaning up these rims. We got some aluminum corrosion on here, so not going to really be able to do much anything about that. Which one of these? This one is got a little bit of, curb rash right there, so we'll have to sand down that lip so we don't tear up the wheels. And we got to do something about this guy as well. These are the only 4 wheels I could get at the scrapyard. There was one other one, and it was not coming off the car. I rounded off 4 lug nuts trying to get that thing off. So, yeah. Don't know. We might wait a bit. Might see if some better wheels show up that I can snag, but we'll see. I'm going to do what I can right now. Alright, it is 6:10. I just put 40 psi in all of them because that one had 40 psi in it, so I'm pretty certain that that wheel is good. That one had 25, that one had 20, that one had 0. So, might be a hole in that one. I just spun it around, didn't hear any leaks, didn't see any nails. But yeah, I'm going to go inside, eat, come back out, squirt these guys down a little bit. Just kind of clean most of the mung off of them, get them looking close to roadworthy, and then check PSI here in an hour or two, and hopefully they'll all be the same, and I'll check them again tomorrow morning. I went by with just some 120 grit and just cleaned up that road rash. No sharp edges there, still a little sharp here on the front, and not the best on the bead, so I'll have to try and clean that up before I pop these off the rim and before I put anything on them. This guy, I gave it a couple taps and just all this stuff broke off. So I just came in here with a 120 grit and just filed everything so that there's not any sharp corners, or that right there, but I'll get to that later. And yeah, I mean, these 2 tires are damn near brand new. This one has the doohickey on it. Yeah, still has the stripe on it somewhat. So I don't think this one's got but, maybe 100 miles on it. That one's probably only got 1,000 or 2. These guys are about probably halfway worn out. These assurances have a really terrible, actually no, these have a 600 tread wear, where these Eagles have had on here somewhere, they had a 260 tread wear rating. I can't speak today. Yeah, 260, that's fucking awful. But yeah, hopefully all this works out. I come out here and there is just a flat ass toad sitting here on my rims. What do you think you're doing? Oh, that valve stem's bad. Oh, that's why it went flat. Why are you here and why are you so flat? Alright, little buddy. Come on over this way. Right over here. There you go. Bye-bye. Alright, well, that's an easy fix right there. Bad valve stem. Easy peasy. Well, no wonder that one didn't want to take any air. Okay, well, that's a load off my mind. Is that one leaking too? Nope. Well, I sprayed everything down with bleach cleaner. So, oh, that one's bad too. Damn. Well, good thing I was going to put new valve stems in these things. How bad is this one? Ooh, bead. It's also have a bead leak here a bit. That might have fallen off. I don't know. I'll have to roll her over and give that a better look. Alright, show me no bead leak, please. Well, I'm gonna have to clean the bead up on this one too. Shit, this wheel may be fucked. Well, with that, I think we're gonna finish cleaning these guys up, and then I think I'm gonna pull valve stems or pull valve stem cores, and then bust some beads and pull these tires off because if I'm gonna put valve stems in them, I'm not putting these damn tires back on them. And definitely looks like we've got some bead leakage going on, so I need to at least get this guy off the rim to, you know, figure out whether or not it's salvageable. I'm sure I can probably get that figured out with some bead sealer. Probably just aluminum corrosion on the rim that just needs some sanding. Well, these two don't appear to have any kind of bead leaks. This one, it's very, very slight. It may just be because it's at 40 psi. Doesn't really seem to get worse if I put pressure on it. So it's probably just corrosion. This guy, not really any bead leaks. Well, there's one little thing right there, but yeah, valve stem is doing one of those. And just noticed over here, we've got some of that classic Goodyear swooping going on. Don't know what it is with Goodyear Eagles, but these Goodyear Eagles do the same thing. Really do not like it. You know, not terribly impressed with Goodyears. These are like $155 tires, and they've got fucking that shit going on. And these are probably also similarly priced and also equally fucked up. Good old dinty Goodyear Eagles. I don't what the fuck's up, Goodyear? What's this about? Anywho, I have put some bleach cleaner and some soapy water and some beer and some spit, a little bit, on all of these, and they are as cleaned up as I'm going to clean them up. I am going to flip them over and do something about the interior, but we're going to throw them in the truck and then just hose off the inside and not waste all my bleach. These guys have they've had a rough life. I don't think aluminum is supposed to be that color. So, yeah. We'll give these a little bit more of a shine, let them sit overnight, see how bad the leak is on this one. I haven't even checked the air pressure. Looks like the valve stem on this one's also bad. Might be something to do with these Goodyear assurances. Assuredly. Pretty shit, apparently. Yeah, it's down about 1 psi. So, yeah. Don't know. Might be shit out of luck. We shall see. Well, that's as clean as I'm ever going to get them. They are far from perfect. And they never will be. And I don't care. I'm going to take these tires back for a refund because they have got some nasty dry rot on these. Even though this one looks brand new, it is not a new tire. And it has some significant weather checking, as well as some just like deterioration of the rubber. And these have just been beat to shit. So I wouldn't feel right trying to sell these to somebody for 120 bucks, so I'm going to return them and get my 120 something bucks back. Okay, so I have tire changer set up, but it's getting dark, so we're not busting beads tonight. But I did take all the wheel weights off. Interestingly, this one that has the chip out of the rim had 5 wheel weights on the back. 2 opposed to each other that were like the same weight, and another one up here. So don't know what that's about. Could be that the whole fucking wheel is bent. We'll hope that's not the case. I'll have to mark that one and get tire shop to check it and make sure the wheel's not bent. But anywho, if we get that far, I just checked tire pressure in all of them. I put everything to between 40 and 41. That's 38. That's 38. That's 37, and that's 38. And this is the one that had 40 in it when I pulled it out of the scrapyard. So temperature's probably dropped 15 degrees, and we no longer have direct sun, and they're all the same PSI. So that's extremely interesting considering that one has a massive valve stem leak. So yeah, weird. Anywho, I'm gonna let them sit overnight, and I'll check them again in the morning or afternoon or whatever. All right, it's the next afternoon, and I just went by and checked tire pressure, and we're 42, 41, 41, and 41. So they haven't lost any air, despite the obvious valve stem leak and bead leak on that one. So the leaks that are on them are actually negligible, or they only leak above 40 psi. So that's interesting. All right, well, there's 4 tires and there's 4 rims, and that was by and far the fastest dismount I've ever done. I don't even think it took me 15 minutes to break the beads and pull all 4 of these tires, which is insane. Here's the real kicker. Look at these tires. You notice something that's missing? I didn't spray a single drop of water. Not a single bit of soapy water. I busted all of those off just with, I didn't even have to use brute strength. It was just perfect, textbook, by the books. Didn't fight, didn't need any lubrication. Crazy, wild. I can't explain it. They're you know, perfectly dry on the inside. That's freaky. Also, this rim appears to be different. It doesn't have the same chrome finish. It's got a duller, more matte finish. It's not as high gloss. And if you listen, it's got some kind of something else different on it too. Yeah, it's like it was sandblasted or bead blasted or something before they clear coated it. It's interesting. Anywho, well, I'm gonna clean these up. Definitely have bead corrosion. As soon as I pop these off, I noticed that. So that's the source of our bead leaks. Shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully no massive pits. Should just be able to clean that up. And might have the tire shop throw some bead sealer in there. This one is in immaculate condition, so I'm not worried at all about that. So is this one. These need some help. All right, well, I've cleaned these up as best as I can. The beads are now perfectly clean. Actually, probably cleaner on these now because I really went after them with the wire wheel. I also came in and I cleaned the inside of these as best as I could with brake clean and a wire wheel. By no means perfect, but a lot better than what they were. Good enough that I don't care. I'm pretty confident that this wheel is of a different manufacturer. All of these have the same like manufacturer code. They all say January 2002, and it's all in that same like electro pencil font. Whereas this guy over here, one has a thicker clear coat. It doesn't have the same milling marks. It's got a really thick clear coat on the interior. It's less chromy, more aluminum-y, and it's got this shit right here. It's a different style of code. It's a lot larger, different font, way wider. So yeah, but they're all Chrysler rims. They've all got pretty much the same markings on the interior. They all have the same Pentastar. So I don't really know what that's about, but one must have been made in a different factory than the other. All right, loaded up and away she goes. Also, I don't think these are Discoverer AT3s because they just say AT, but they were manufactured this year. So yeah, don't really understand what that's about. They're not LTs, they're just ATs. They're not 4Ss, they're not AT3s. Yeah, don't really understand what they are, but I assume they're equivalent to an AT3. Anywho, they were cheap. They were cheaper than the 4Ss by like 30%, so whatever. Close enough. Tread pattern's the same. And fucking of course, 2 days later, they pull Liberty onto the lot with 5 pristine looking mag rims. Such is my life. Alright, so we're going back to the scrapyard. I'm getting my $120 back, and we're gonna see if we can get some better rims. And if we can get a better one, we're gonna swap out that one with the chunk missing. And if they've got some really nice ones, we're gonna swap out both of those, or maybe I think I'll just and I'll swap that one out, buy one more rim, and then keep that as a spare, just in case. Never know. And one more wheel head. Well, this tire is definitely not as nice. It has at least one plug I've seen, and a nail, and it's dead flat. And I have never heard of Black Lion Veratios before, but generally the sidewall is supposed to be even, isn't it? Because it's not doing that even thing. So she is going to go to the dump. Alright, tire's dismounted, and the way that you can tell you have a good quality tire is when pieces of the bead fall off when you dismount it. So yeah, she's going to dump. But let's see what the bead is. Nice and clean. It's got some like tire mung on it, probably because this China tire melted. And yeah, pop my wheel weights off. Take that fancy, oh, a TPMS sensor. That's interesting because Jeeps don't have TPMS sensors, as far as I'm aware. That's cool. But yeah, we'll bust that off. I have no idea how that works. Never had a car with TPMS sensors. Get these wheel weights off, shine her up a good bit, and get her in the stack for get my new tires. Well, that's nice and clean and being hung out to dry. Now it's off to Gorman's. All right, so we're doing some fancy math to calculate how much weight savings I'm getting going to steels, because apparently the published weight, there's no published weight for OEM Jeep Liberty steel rims. I found one site that says 29.9, which I don't believe, and then AutoZone lists them as 24, and we're going with that. And I'm doing some calculations with rubber density and tread wear and all sorts of geometry and volume and circumferences and stuff like that, and doing water displacement to calculate volume and density on rubber, because it's just to get an estimate so I can figure out what the actual density is and all that stuff. And yeah, so far calculations are looking pretty good on calculating weight loss due to tread wear. So I'll show you that when I got everything proofed out. Hello, Gorman's. So long, Gorman's. All right, now before I throw these shiny new chrome rims on here, I want to talk about some math, everybody's favorite subject. So I did a bunch of calculations, and I also pulled my spare tire off, busted that tire off the bead, and then weighed the factory steel rim because I could not find the published weight anywhere. Did this for y'all and also for myself because I'm obsessive compulsive. So I now know the weight of both of these rims. I also know the weight of the new Coopers, and I know the weight of that new Cooper, which is a 225/75. So the factory aluminum 16-inch Jeep Liberty rim is 18.5 pounds. The factory steel Jeep Liberty rim is 27.5 pounds. The Cooper Discover AT full stop 245/70 R16s are 36.5 pounds. Brand new Cooper Discover AT3 225/75 R16s are 29 pounds. It's actually a pound lighter than advertised. These are a half pound heavier than advertised. And the brand new Pirelli Scorpion AT plus 245/70 R16s, I don't know, because mine already have half their tread wear off of them. But they're 29.5 pounds, actually 29 pounds, as they are with half the tread worn off of them. And I did the math, and that puts them from the factory. I did some really complicated math to try and calculate how much weight was actually lost. If you don't know, the density of the rubber that they use on tire tread, it's approximately 1.12 through 1.15, somewhere in that range. You know, about in that 3% range ish. Grams per centimeter cubed. And so I did math. I took the 5/32 of tread that I've lost off of these, actually, no, it was 7/32. Anyway, there's 5/32 left on these. I think they were advertised as 12/32, so that's 7/32. So I did that, and I calculated the area of the difference in the height of the tire that was lost, and did all this math, and it worked out to be 7 1/3 pounds, and I'm rounding down to 7. So I think these were actually 35 pounds from the factory, or at least they were a significant amount over 34, like 34.5 plus. Anywho, currently I weighed both of these as they are, same PSI, 32 PSI, which is good for my Jeep. It's good cold weather for the Jeep. Hot weather, I probably should drop it down to 30, but anywho, this guy weighs 56.9 pounds. This guy weighs 55.3 pounds. So we already have a 1.6 pound difference going to a new tire on aluminum rim from what we currently have on this 2/3 of the way worn out Pirelli, which is substantial. This guy up here weighs the same as that guy down there, and that's a brand new 225. So switching to aluminum rims should make a substantial difference. I mean, it's a solid 9-pound drop just between the wheels. So yeah, I'm expecting to see some kind of difference. Maybe not immediately because these tires basically weigh the same, but dropping down 1.5 pounds, not really. You know, that's like 3% difference. So we'll see. It might have an immediate change, and over the lifespan of the tire should be a significant change, especially considering there was a massive drop from those to these. So let's put some miles on this pig. Actually, first let's put tires on it, then let's put some miles on this pig and see how it does. Alright, so I was going to actually run these Pirellis down to where they were damn near bald. I was going to let them go for about another, what is it? It's middle of June right now. I was going to let them go till probably 4th of July and then change them out. And that looks like we're not doing that because never in my life of me have I seen this. Well, actually, I've seen it on a lawnmower before, but never on a passenger tire. The valve stem core is delaminating from the actual boot, which is very interesting. I guess I must have like caught a stick or a rock or a stump or something and just like boogered it. Because the actually no, the core itself looked a little bit bent. But yeah, so that's interesting. So anyway, when I get home today, we're going to put the new tires on. And then we're going to compare what I got with these Pirellis over the last probably 2 months, and then we're going to run those new tires for another 2 months and compare the gas mileage and see what we gain or lost, or if it's exactly the same. So yeah, well, force my hand, I guess. Anyway, got too much shit going on this week. Did not need this right now at 8:50 in the morning. Now I'm late for work. Anyway, I'm gonna go throw one of the other tires in the car just so I don't have to take the spare off, and go to work, and we'll sort this out tonight. Alright, so I made it home with no flat tires, so that's a plus. And here's our wheels. So with a little bit of a China torque magic, let's convert Pirellis into Coopers. Alright, there we are. Thank you, China torque magic. Whew, boy, that is... Let me get over here to the Craigslist side. That is... for brand spanking new tires on brand new used dump rims, and I think she's looking snazzy. I still kind of like the way the that silver steel on the steel wheels looked, but I might come around to this chrome maybe after I get some road grime on it or wash the car. That's not happening. But yeah, we gotta scrape that blue off though, show that white wall. But yeah. Oh boy, it is hotter than the devil's taint out, and fuel prices are getting up towards $5 a gallon. So hopefully these will save me some gas mileage. All that's left to do is just run this around, put some miles on her, put some tanks through it, and we should already be dropping wheel weight down by about 1 pound, 2 pounds. So just topped off the gas tank this afternoon. Crisp 17.8 miles to the gallon. That's one of the worst I've ever seen out of this car, but I did only put exactly 6.66 gallons in it, which is not a good sign. But anywho, hopefully we could save some gas mileage, and as these tires wear in, it gets even better. Alright, first fill up on the new tires. Let's see how we do. We got 318.4. Ignore that, it's off. I think we're still floating around about the same, if I'm going to guess. Not too bad. That should be just about 20. Alright, just under 20. It's not the greatest start, but it's up there. That's definitely within tolerance if we're going to start seeing 20 now. So let's put another like 10 of these on here. See y'all in 6 months. Alright, we're looking at 345.5 in the second fill up. Hopefully we're under 17. And damn. Extra damn. Oh, actually, no, that's right. Damn it. There we go. All right, we're looking at a crisp 18.7 miles a gallon, which is not great. So we're not off to a particularly good start here. It's looking like we're basically the same. All right, it's butt crack of dawn. It's not all that early, but it's early for me, especially to be up and ready to go. And gas gauge is doing its thing where it goes from 3/4 of the way full to empty after I drive anywhere between 10 and 60 miles an hour. It's once I get above 60 on the Odo, which you can't read because it's all blown out right now. It just says the fuel tank's empty, and then when I shut the car off after I get past 60, it goes to right about there, and then it sits there. But anyway, interesting. I digress. I'm starting my 3-hour, 15-minute drive up to Lake Murray for my 4.5-hour meeting, so that I can then start my 3-hour and 15-minute drive back and run some errands on the way back. And we'll see if just going a straight, consistent, 55 to 60 miles an hour all the way there and back with hopefully no traffic will do anything. So let us begin this journey. All right, we're here. This place is pretty neat. It's basically a mountaintop inside of a man-made lake. So that's pretty cool. That's what happens when you just take a whole river valley and just dam the whole thing up. Makes really weird, interesting geological islands like this, which is not normal here in South Carolina. But anywho, there we are. Yep, that certainly ain't natural for here, but it's definitely cool. Alright, we're back at the house, and the fuel gauge is looking pretty good. It's not accurate, but we're at 334.4, and I think we're just a hair over 20. I've said I've jinxed it, but we're going to get gas in the morning, and we'll see how we're doing. Alright, we're at the gas station. We're looking for something under 17.5 this go round. And there we go. Alright, we were over 20 that time, so we might have done something, probably not. Felt like we should have got more than that. But anyway, we're going to fast forward for about, I don't know, like 6 months or whenever the hell I get tired of doing this. And we'll see if this actually made any difference in the long run. Alright, quick update on the fuel economy log. It is now September 12th, so I'm planning to run this thing till December, so we still got about 3 months plus of gas logging to do to see whether or not we're actually making a difference with those wheels and tires. But I just wanted to take a quick side detour to say that I got some really bad fuel economy back to back. I think I got like 17.8 and like an 18.5 and like an 18 even, like back to back to back. And I was driving, the first one was normal, the second tank was normal, and the third tank, I drove to Columbia and back, basically to a stop and back, 145 miles both ways, going a consistent, between 55 and 65 the entire way. And when I got back and filled up, just before I got home, I was like, I still got about 30, 40 miles left on the tank. I was damn near empty. And I got like a flat 18 miles a gallon when I should have got, 20 plus. And fuel economy has not been great up to this point. So, against my better judgment, I threw this 20, 30-year-old bottle of SuperTech gas treatment in there. I don't have a video of that, so you're gonna have to take my dramatic reenactment in. And lo and behold, I went, drove all the way to McClellanville, crawled around the Francis Marion in four-wheel drive in first gear with the AC on for 6.5 hours, and then drove 100-something miles back. Drove into town through traffic today to go to a meeting, came back, filled up at 278, and I got 21.9 miles a gallon. So I don't know what to say. I've run, if y'all have been following this series up to this point, the only thing so far that has made a difference has been boat gas. And that really only made a difference once, and only at highway speeds. I have put Techron, Gum Out, Marvel Mystery Oil, Seafoam, what was the other? I think I threw something else in here too. And I've had nothing, no success, no change at all. And just yesterday, I threw this just completely random thing of SuperTech gas treatment that has been in the garage for probably as long as I've been alive. And I literally just threw it in here because I was half drunk and decided, fuck it. And fully expected it to like totally gum up my injectors or something, or like leave me dead stranded on the side of the road because it was full of sugar or some shit like that. And it worked. The first time I ever ran fuel system treatment through it, I ran a thing of a STP high mileage fuel system treatment through this, and I got like 23 miles a gallon driving to college, like 300 miles one way. And I just figured that was because I was, on the interstate going like 72 flat for like 3 hours straight. And this time, I saw just about a 4 mpg increase, between a 3.5 and a 4 mpg increase just overnight, literally overnight. I filled the thing up. Actually, I filled the thing up on Saturday, drove it Sunday, and then drove it today on Monday, and then filled it up. So it's, I can't explain it. And I mean, it was to the point where gas spilled out of the tank this last time, because it does that all the time. I don't know what it is about the filler neck on this Jeep, but it always overfills. So I have to like leave the thing sticking out. I think it's some sort of hydrolock or something. Or anyway, I digress. But it was right full. I could see the gas, and I could see the gas the other day when it was 18, and when it was 18.5, and when it was 17.8. So yeah, I don't know. Apparently this works somehow, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe I didn't have any issues with my fuel system when I ran all that other stuff, like literally like 4 months ago. And then I put the new tires on it, and then I developed a fuel system clog. I don't know. Or maybe this actually cleans the top end. Maybe it's a top end issue and just the other solvents weren't correctly dissolving carbon. Maybe I need to do a top end treatment with a intake cleaner, but that's really going to only be the intake valves. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We will continue to log gas, and come December, I will probably try a top end treatment and see if that does anything. I tried that once before and it didn't work. I think there was some kind of restriction. I think the line was kinked or something, because I only used like 3/4 of the can, and I ran it for like 10 minutes, and I never got the hot soak smoke coming out of the tailpipe. So I think something messed that up. But I don't know. We'll see. All I'm saying is something just happened, and it might mean that it's going to get much better for my wallet. We'll see. In case you're curious, here's the front of this bottle. There's the back. I can't figure out when it was manufactured, unless that's like a 90 up there or something. I don't think that is. I think that's an 09C, but I don't know. There's a horse on the bottom. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, I think this is well over 20 years old. I think this is like 90s. So I don't know how it got in the garage, but it went in the car and it did something. All right, another midstream update. Just driving through downtown. I fucking hate downtown. Everyone drives like an asshole, and there's no stoplights except for ones that they don't need. And every lane just stops and ends and merges, and then they're all turn and they're all not turn and everything, and it's horrible. But anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling. Well, actually, I'm gonna start rambling just about the thing I was going to talk about. But it's November now, and been going for a couple months. Yeah, fuel economy is not any better. So new tires and the aluminum rims did nothing. Who'd have thunk? All right, it's January now. It's cold out, and I think it's time we finally crunch the numbers. So let's swoop on over to Excel and take a gander at what my MPGs have been. Alrighty, so here is the data, and didn't do anything. As you can see right here, I've got the averages for all of the tire and wheel combos I've had on this Jeep over the however many years now. 8 years I've owned it. 2015? No, a couple more. 7 years, something like that. But as you can see, these are the shitty garbage prime wheels that came on it when I got it. They were 235 70s on 15s. Those were Wrangler wheels. But I got about just a hair over 20 miles a gallon. And you see here I have bulk average, granular average, and median. Bulk average is all the mileage plus all the gallons, each one summed and then one divided by the other to give me the average fuel economy for every gallon that went through it. Granular average is the average of all of the averages. And as you can see on all these, there's no substantial difference. And then median is the median. And sometimes you have high and lows in your average, and one will skew one or the other, and median's a better representative. Again, no substantial differences, not any more than, I think that's the largest, with, you know, a 1/5 of an MPG difference, which isn't insignificant, but grand scheme of things, no big deal in this data analysis. But anywho, as you can see, prime wheels, just a hair over 20. Then I went to the Coopers, did a bunch of work on the car, and fixed a whole bunch of stuff that was also wrong, and we got up just a little bit, and we averaged 20.5. Then we had the Pirellis that I just switched from, 19.5. All right, you know, took about a 1 MPG hit, but I went to a bigger tire. It was much heavier. All right, makes sense. Then we went back to our Coopers and aluminums, and we took another 3/4 mile per gallon hit. And I'm now convinced that it's not the tires and it's not the wheels. The engine's just getting tired and she's just taking more fuel. So it is what it is. We have all the different tire combinations mapped based off of day of the year. because the chemistry of the fuel you get changes. It changes throughout the year, so that can affect your fuel economy independent of anything you else have on the vehicle, just depending on how you drive and where you drive and other various factors. Just like highway driving doesn't make a difference, but if you're idling or stopping or going, it can have an impact. So as you can see, I've mapped them all out, and you can see those averages in there, and it's pretty consistent for the three. You can see that the green, which is the Pirellis that I just swapped out of, is noticeably lower than everything else, and this orange is way more consistent than the blue. But the blue were those prime wells originally, and there was some stuff wrong with the car, so when I fixed that, it got way more consistent, which you can see in the orange with Coopers. And as you can see, there's a very slight downtick at winter, but nothing that is significant. And you see this yellow, it's a new aluminum rims, and it has settled way down below. And I don't know if that's just because I'm not driving the car a lot, and so the gas is, getting a little stale, and I'm getting worse fuel economy because I'm driving the Mercedes all the time now because gas is so expensive, and I can save a couple cents per gallon driving the Mercedes. Plus, I'd rather put mileage on the Mercedes than I do on the Jeep because the Jeep has a lot more utility than the Mercedes. And so, seeing as how the Jeep may be losing compression, or at least getting worn out, I'd rather put mileage on that old Mercedes, because if that blows up, it'll just go to scrapyard. I don't want to get rid of the Jeep. Actually, I don't want to get rid of either of them, but the Mercedes is a 500,000 mile engine in that thing, and it's at like 175. The Jeep is a, how do I say it? It's a Chrysler, so it's already twice its normal lifespan at 220. So it could just die at any point. But I think at this point we've proven that any manufacturer defects, this car was built on a Tuesday, not on Friday. So she'll hopefully just slowly die, and then we can swap the engine at some point. But anyway, looks like aluminum rims have not done anything to my Jeep. All right, so yeah. We're not saving any money on these tires and rims. If anything, the fuel economy has taken a drastic nosedive. I don't know if that's the tires or rims. I don't think it is anymore. I think the engine's just wearing itself out. And it's really hard to do a compression test on this thing, because I got to go find like an adapter or something I can do, because this thing's got recessed spark plugs. And there's no way I'm going to jam that, rubber hose down in there, potentially twist off one, I'd never be able to get threads in there. Two, I would probably ruin the threads on the actual head. And three, I'd never be able to get the thing out if I tore the hose. So anyway, it's hard to do a compression test, but I'm pretty sure this thing is just a little sad. She's at 255,000 miles, probably closer to whatever it is, 220 on this actual block. Yeah, probably just at 18's fine enough for now. That's why I've been driving the Mercedes. She gets, if I'm a real featherfoot and it's hot out and there's, not a big air charge coming into this thing, she gets about 30 miles a gallon. More realistically, about 25 or 26. But, even with the price of diesel, that's pretty good. That's more than, 50% more fuel economy out of that thing at minimum. And diesel only costs, 50% more. So it's a wash. But I drive this thing in the summer because the AC works great. I drive that thing in the winter because the heat works okay. No heat on this. And yeah. Anywho, I digress. Well, that was a kind of a waste of several $100 and a lot of time. That's story of my life. But I like the Coopers better than the Pirellis, and I have aluminum rims now, so I can brag about that. But anyway, yeah, well, maybe if this gets really bad, if we drop down into like 17s or 16s, I'm going to get a can of engine restore and just dump it in the crankcase and see if it does something. If it's compression related, that'll give me, pretty sizable amount of compression left, and we may get some more fuel economy. But I'll never be able to know through an oil analysis in the future if I have bad bearings if I do that. But anyway, I don't know. That is an option down the road. Or I might do injectors. I've never done fuel injectors on this thing. This is probably, I believe, still the original injectors with 255,000 miles on them. I could just have one that's pissing. I don't know, but I mean, I've been watching the OBD2 and the O2 sensors aren't showing me that I'm running rich. So I think she's just taking more. I think we've just lost compression. And she's just taking more fuel. And then that fuel charge is getting burned adequately before it gets to the O2 sensor, but I'm just not getting the oomph out of it. I'm not getting the force I need or something. I don't know. But anywho, if you like this kind of crap, consider liking the video. Comment. Tell me what you think it is. I think it's compression. And if you want to see more of this garbage and see me do any of the other stuff I just mentioned, you got to subscribe. So smash the big red button. Until next time, I'm out.